Good morning, Lowlives. It's your boy Rhino back with another delectable, delicious episode of the Lowlife podcast. I'm very excited actually for this fucking episode because really good guy. It's a little outside of my comfort zone. I'm actually looking forward to learning a bit. But we're going to be joined by the head silly boy at A Better Way 2A. He is a gun enthusiast, a activist, cigar aficionado, and a fellow podcaster. Please welcome to the show, Jordan.
Hey man, how's it going?
Good.
That was I gotta take some notes from that intro and maybe include some slurps and a little more intimacy in our intro, because that was definitely on a different level than what I'm used to.
That's what people want to hear first thing on a Friday morning. A lot of people listen to this at like 4 a.m. on their way to their fucking pipe welding job, and they want to hear me slurping into the fucking microphone. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Some ASMR, just some mouth magic.
Dude, I hate those ASMR videos when they're like clicking on the things and scraping stuff. It makes my fucking skin crawl.
Awful. That who's that chick that does like the Bugatti commercial, or the video where she's like Bugatti and she's tapping on the steering wheel But I love the ones that they've made to make fun of that, where it's just some like Aussie next to his whatchamacallit, his Ute, just revving it, redlining it, and he's like, that's a fucking what's the name of the pickup truck that they have out there that's based loosely on it's like, oh man, Holden.
Okay.
She's like Bugatti, and she taps on the thing, and this guy's like Holden, ga 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 ga. It's just fucking awesome. That's what every ASMR video should be like.
Yeah. Well, I did a little ASMR bit not too long ago where I ate a pickled egg really close to the mic.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Did you get paid for it at least?
No. I make it myself though. I'm a big pickled egg guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Have you ever had one?
That's a fun fact. No, I have not. I did have a pickled garlic clove the other day, though. That was nuts.
Dude, pickled food is the best. And pickled eggs it is the quintessential bar food. It is the best bar food you can get.
Bet like more bar foody than wings? Yeah. I gotta try a pickled egg, to have any kind of context here.
Yeah, dude, try a pickled egg. It's really hard to get. Like a lot of places don't carry them. You'll find them at like farmers markets and shit. But you can just make your own. Next time you polish off a jar of pickles, keep that brine, boil some eggs, and toss them in.
How long does it take?
Dude, like fucking 24 hours.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, you can put them in whatever you like. If you like pepperoncinis or jalapenos or like your favorite pickle, just throw a fucking egg in there and let them sit.
All right. I'm gonna have to do this.
They're perfect with beer, because if you're drinking a bunch of beer, I mean, you're getting pretty full, and you need to eat something. What's better for you than a fucking egg, dude?
Than an egg?
Yeah,
you're getting a ton of protein. It's low carb, so you can drink a actual beer, and you don't have to drink like a Michelob Ultra or something like that.
Yeah, and if you throw up,
not knocking the mix,
but it just comes out like a paste.
That's the best case scenario is throwing up a bunch of pickled eggs and beer.
Yeah. It won't stain your clothes.
Oh God, man. I don't have like a hierarchy of shitty things to throw up, but if I did, I don't know. Based on my lack of experience, I would not put pickled eggs up near the top.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like
it doesn't sound like it. Yeah, like it'd be good at face value, but
yeah. Things that you don't want to eat on the way out, like fish, sounds pretty bad.
Yep.
Anyways, this is already off the road. We're off the rails. We're less than 5 minutes in.
I'm glad that it's nice finding somebody else who's as ADHD as I am. Especially when I'm on their show for a change, and it's not the other way around, and I'm supposed to be the professional.
Yeah, dude. We wanted to this episode. I really, I'm a gun guy, right? But I'm not like there's so much to learn about guns. There's some dudes that are like encyclopedias. It's kind of like with motorcycles or cars or whatever you're into, guitars, right? Like some dudes get into it and they know fucking everything. I know just enough to like be able to probably responsibly own one. But I don't know, like, I don't know a lot of that sort of. So I want to get into that. But this is actually, I think you're the first podcaster we've had on.
Oh, rad.
Yeah, a little cross pollination here. So maybe there's guys from your camp that are into fucking low life shit, and you know,
dude, I get more than the amount of people I get on a monthly basis who bring you guys up is not zero.
No shit.
Yeah, and I'm really, one of the things that I was like super pumped about when I started A Better Way to It was to find out that there was a crossover in the gun community and in the chopper community. It was like, I don't know. You don't know until you know. And you know, I spent I don't know how long in one, and then started this, and all of a sudden had no time for that.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm like balls deep in this, and I'm finding people that not Twin Rivers Chopper Camp Out. What's the one in North Carolina? I know that's in North Carolina also, but the one put on by like Ronnie and her boyfriend.
Back Road Barbecue Road.
Yeah. Back Road Barbecue Road. And I always wanted to go to that, but I was like, North Carolina's far to ride for me on a hardtail. I was like, I don't know, like Maine I could do for like Deadbeat and stuff, but she invited me down. She actually prints our shirts, and she invited me down to vend at it. So I got to drive the Subi, go to this chopper camp out for the first time in the Subi, but through A Better Way 2A, and I got to meet a bunch of my friends that I knew from the internet.
Did you go
down
last
there?
Year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are they? I don't think they're doing it again.
I don't know. There was some like I have no idea what happened. There was like, it looked like some drama for your mama on the internet.
Yeah,
they said it wasn't going to happen, but
drama.
Yeah. I don't know.
Kind.
I know. Yeah, heartbreak.
Got to stick together, folks.
That's
Not enough of us out there.
I know.
Yeah, I think the first time I met you was at Deadbeat when I was at Fiddlehead. You had that. I think it was a kick. Big Twin.
Yeah.
Was it? What was that?
It was an Evo.
It was an Evo.
Yeah,
but it had a kicker on it, didn't it?
Yeah, because I'm poser as fuck.
I loved it.
No, it's cool. I love it. I loved it. It had a kicker, and then it had a cheater button underneath it, but it kicked over. I mean, you know, it's not as impressive to say that it kicked over first kick every time with it being an Evo, because it's like the most reliable motor ever made. But yeah, it was fun. It was a fun bike. It wasn't like you know, if I impressed the dude who rode a motorcycle with it, it was more than I hoped for, because I built it purely to like, because I liked it, and the fact that other people thought it was cool was just a benefit.
Yeah. Well, it was it looked really comfy. It had that big nice brown seat on it. But I think I met you when you buried it. It was at the chopper show or whatever, and you buried it in the dirt.
Yeah, we made a human chopperpede.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a Was that the year that it rained like a fuck ton? Like, was that the rain year? That was like 2020 or some shit.
That was the one with the pirate ship that
burning pirate
Rick
ship.
brought.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
My wife came over to that one, and she was like, she's like not a chopper person at all, but she's also super motivated and is like crazy supportive, which is really all you need. And Ronnie from Dirty Builds was doing a burnout in the porta potty about 10 feet away from her head when she was passed out sleeping in the tent. She didn't even wake up. It was absolutely fucking impressive, and I like still give her credit to this day for that.
Yeah, I think he received a lifetime ban from Fiddlehead.
That was the year. Which is so, like, I remember the year prior they were totally cool with it. So like, how would he know? Yeah. Maybe not totally cool. Maybe that's overstatement. But
yeah, I think I mean, they got some pretty good footage of Ronnie in there. So it was like, it wasn't
it's clearly him.
Yeah, it wasn't a exactly or whatever. It was Ronnie doing a burnout.
That's him. That's the guy.
Yep. Yeah. Total destruction. That was a fun year. But then we met again at the one in New York. Not this past year, but the year before, I think, right?
Yeah. That one I brought my truck up. I brought my truck up, camped in the back, and I went with Ronnie, who brought his like 77 Dodge van. 70 something.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he broke my wrist that year.
What? He did?
Yeah.
What do you do?
So I was riding my motorcycle super drunk, and he said, "Do a backflip," and I dumped it.
Oh no. I remember that. I didn't know that was you though.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh shit. That sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, like
That
as soon as
blows
he
me.
said it. But he did help me up. But he should be
That's
coming on
good.
too. Yeah. So are you by the do you live by you're in Connecticut too, right?
Yeah, I live like 20 minutes away from those dudes. I
Okay.
try to hang out with them like once a month or something if I can.
Yeah, no shit.
Once or twice a month. Yeah. Ronnie just did his first strongman competition.
Yeah, I saw that. Fucking beast.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. We're gonna
It's
get him
also
on the
like
show. He's gonna come up.
you should.
He's gonna
Yeah,
bench press me
that'd be dope.
live on air.
I don't know how much he could bench, but I'm sure he could do it.
Pretty heavy.
I actually I don't know what you look like below the nipple line, so that's it could be completely misleading.
It gets bigger as it goes down.
Yeah. that's what
I'm a
yeah,
human
we all
bear.
hope, right? Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, no, but good for him. That was his first competition. He fucking crushed it, got first place.
Yeah. Yeah, I went and saw him do that with his lady, and I'm a kind of timid person when it comes to crowds and stuff, but I was like screaming for him the whole time.
You
and
actually
I was,
got to go.
Oh yeah, like he was, yeah, because I live close, and he told me about it, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I can't lift heavy shit. I try, but like heaviest thing I lift regularly now is my kid, and she's like 40 pounds.
How old's your kid now?
She's 2.5. She's probably not 40 pounds, but she's like 30 at least.
They feel heavier, actually.
Yeah.
Plus
yeah, because they're dead weight.
Yeah, and you lose sleep from the day they're born forever, so you never have your energy back.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have kids?
I got 3.
Okay. Damn.
I got twin boys, dude.
Did you have twins first or second?
Second.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you had twins, and then we're like, let's do it again. That's ballsy.
Yeah, we had my daughter first, and then I was like, wow, having babies is fucking hard. This sucks. Let's not do it again. And then I was like, just one more, and then I was like, okay, and then poof, two at a time.
Twins. Yeah. Twins.
Don't recommend it. One at a time is plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no fun.
That's awesome, man.
It is fun once they get old enough and they can gang up on you and beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, I'm sure.
One day,
I'm sure
they're gonna be bigger than I am, but that'll be nice when I'm like old and decrepit and in a wheelchair. I'll just be like, Rocco, sick 'em, and they could just be like, bodyguards. That's my hope. That's my hope.
Oh yeah. Hopefully they'll look like little mini yous too at that age too. Where like tattoos, and I don't know how many tattoos you have, but just like the same. I don't know. I'm thinking like the twins from Breaking Bad type situation.
Exactly. That's my hope. I want to raise them into I want them to be get into some trouble. You know what I mean? But
tough kids.
I want to be like my dream is just like when they're teenagers, they go and they don't kill someone, but they steal like a tractor or something and they get caught. And I'm like at the dinner table, I'm like, I can't believe you were raised better than this. And then secretly I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
I go to bed and I'm just like,
oh man, I remember when I was that age.
Yeah. I remember when I stole my first tractor.
That's so funny, man. That's so funny because you had a daughter first, so you probably know. I have 2 sisters, and both just have shit luck with men, just bad boyfriend, after another. One of them she doesn't talk to us anymore because her boyfriend gaslit the fuck out of the family. But anyway, my one motivation has been to teach my daughter. She's 2 now, so not going too crazy, but I want her to be self-sufficient. I want her to know how to turn a wrench. I want her to know how to work on her own car, how to check shit, because I don't want a guy to come along and flash a shiny wrench or talk about how he changed a tire once and her to be impressed. Yeah. I want her to call bullshit and be like, no, you're gonna have to do better than that.
Yeah.
But
I want my daughter to get with a dude that's crack cases. Have you done a bottom end yet? Something more impressive. Top
absolutely.
end rebuild. Fucking
great,
loser.
Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah,
for sure.
The other thing is, and I hope you don't mind if I smoke. I'm doing this for you, by the way. I don't typically smoke cigars, but
dude, I'm in my basement right now, and I've tried everything that I can imagine to try to smoke down here, and there's zero way, unfortunately, because of I'm just right below my living room.
Oh yeah, babies don't like cigar smoke, do they?
No. Well, she doesn't have a choice, to be honest. That's the great thing about her being a baby. But no, try not to smoke around the kid.
Yeah, I got the detached garage, so like I got the garage is detached, and then this is the loft area above the garage that I built. So,
dude, that's my goal. I've got a loft above the garage, and that's what I want to do once it's yeah. Once if you walk up there right now, the ground is spongy. It needs supports. The guy who did it did an awful job.
Yeah, dude, it's a lot of fucking work, dude. Mine was unfinished. It was just like, when I moved in here, there was no like drywall or anything, and the fucking insulation was just like hanging down, and there was like squirrels living in here and fucking.
That's how you want it, dude. That's how you want it. It's like you got to breathe that shit in, give yourself character, you know?
Oh, dude, I got like fucking Legionnaire's disease or something from cleaning this fucking place out, dude. Like, because I'm not like a mask and goggles kind of guy, you know.
I hear you.
I'm just like shirtless in the summertime, just like
you're like a almost close your mouth and squint kind of guy. Like, just breathe through your lips. Like,
I'm a squints. I'm a squints guy.
Yeah.
Well, you don't always suspect the droppings though. Like, you're taking out the batting or whatever, you're replacing it, and it's on the other side of it. So you're pulling it down, and then it rains on your face, and then you go, "Oh, that's fucking mouse shit that I just got."
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
No. I didn't even think of that. That makes total sense.
But, and the other thing is I fucking hate drywall, and I fucking hate spackle and all that bullshit. It's just tedious. But once it's done, it's nice. You get your own.
It looks good from this little box that I'm looking at right now.
Yeah. Well, you can't see, like, once you get in here, you're just like, I covered up a lot of it with like the acoustic foam, you know.
Nice.
But it is not a professional job. The door doesn't even close. I have to like pull the door closed. Like, what?
It looks good. It looks good from a distance. That's, you know, good from far, far from good.
It looks good from Connecticut, from where you are.
Yeah.
Get any closer.
480p. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So let's get into
gun shit.
Some gun shit. Well, let's just start off with A Better Way 2A, because you've been doing that for quite a while. What exactly is A Better Way 2A?
Dude, so I started out as like just a regular gun owner. You know, I wanted to carry like inside the jacket holsters, like under the arm, because it looked cool and stuff like that. And then I just, as one does, learn more. And as I got to this, like, I forget where. Oh, well, it started after the Pulse nightclub shooting, and I thought, you know, here's this group of people that should be learning how to protect themselves, because that right is for everybody. I had a friend of mine reach out to me, a gay friend of mine reach out to me, wanted to learn how to shoot, but he was nervous about taking a regular gun class because of his perception of what the gun community was. In his mind, it was going to be this like monolithic, homophobic, like ultra masculine, conservative type, you know, demigod, which was not going to be welcoming to a gay liberal. And I taught him how to shoot. I wasn't an instructor at that point, but taught him how to shoot, and him and his husband. And they were like, we want our pistol permit, but we only want it from you. So I got my pistol permit, put my information out on this website called Operation Blazing Sword, which was a way for people in the LGBTQ community to get in touch with allies that would teach them how to shoot guns and whatnot. Taught probably half a dozen people, and then decided to turn it into A Better Way 2A formally, because as I spoke to more people, I realized that this was kind of a, like, not an isolated feeling, that there was this group of people out there who did not feel welcome in the gun community. And me, just as somebody like who never really made politics my personality or anything like that, like, I didn't know any of this. I just thought, like, if you want to get a gun, you're going to get a gun. Like, you could, like anybody else would, just get a permit and start carrying it. I didn't think that there were these like barriers to doing it, social barriers to doing it. So I was like, that's fucked up. I want to change that. And it's you know, fast forward 3.5 years or so, 4 years, and it's turned into like a second full-time job worth of like commitment for me now, where it's just getting the message out there primarily that, like, hey, if you want to own a gun and be a gun owner, not only can you do that, and not only is this like a place for you, but there's also tons of other people like you and the community is only growing. And it's not just like gay people and trans folks, like it's people left of center politically, women, black people. Like black women was the fastest growing. I say black women was because that's the demographic. Was the fastest growing demographic of new gun owners in 2020, like after the George Floyd stuff. And you see like mainstream NRA stuff, and like nobody's really talking about it. You've got a couple of the big names like Colion Noir and like Maj Touré and whatnot. I think I'm saying his name right, but it's not. There's not like a huge push to say like, hey, people we've never advertised to, come be with us. So I just kind of took that upon myself, and luckily I've got a great group of people that I work with, who I've met all through doing this. And the community is only growing from there. And I also like make a bunch of funny stickers and patches and t-shirts and whatnot. Like I made this tiger stripe baseball jersey that says like 69 on it. So like, you know, it's a little bit of serious, a little bit of not so serious.
Yeah. I imagine that draws a lot more people in because, you know, like it's a very heated discussion. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
especially in America with every so often there's a fucking mass shooting or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think it's important. And I think that, you know, for me, I didn't grow up around guns. You know, my dad didn't have a gun. I never went hunting. And, but as I grew up into a big boy, I'm a big boy now. I was
big boy.
I was like, and I don't like cops and shit. You know, they make me nervous. I kind of wanted to be independent and take care of myself. And I don't trust the fucking government. So I'm like,
yeah,
you know,
you should definitely be a gun owner.
Yeah. Yeah. Because then you don't need cops to help you. You don't need anybody to help you. You can help yourself because fucking if you have a pistol on you, you can pretty much protect yourself from any kind of threat, right? Like, unless they have a bigger gun, but most people, right? Like, even then,
it definitely hedges. Still, like, no, for sure. It's definitely hedging your bets. Like, I will say it's way harder than just like carrying a gun and you know immediately just being safe now that you have one. Like, it's not a talisman, you know, obviously, but like I've done a couple classes that were super humbling where it was like a force on force simunition thing. So it's like paint bullets, but out of a real gun. Like brass casings, but with a paint projectile. Fucking hurts.
Awesome. I didn't know they actually did that. That was in like Chucky 2 or some shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was like, that would be awesome, dude.
Dude, we did this like a response to active shooting class, and before this, I was like, I've been shooting for 6-7 years. Like, I'm gonna be pretty good at this. And it was room clearing. Essentially, you were in an office building, and there was an active shooter, and your job was to clear the rooms on your way out of the building. So kind of like protecting yourself, but you know, if you face a threat, being able to mitigate the threat. And this dude, so I only had a 10-round mag because that's what we're allowed to have in Connecticut. And I got into a shootout with this guy from down a hallway. I was on one doorway, and he was on the opposite end of the hallway on the opposite wall. And I missed all 10 shots. He shot me twice in the same hand.
What the fuck?
Dude, it was crazy. And this dude was military. It was like special forces, but like it was crazy humbling to me because I was like, I know how to shoot. And then all of a sudden your heart rate goes up to like 150 and your aim goes out the window and you're like, well, I guess I'm dead.
Yeah.
But it is, you know, I encourage everybody who's like nervous about the way things are or are going or has been in a situation where they've been, you know, scared for their safety. You know, there are other things that you can carry besides a gun, but a gun is not the it's not the scary, like evil piece of machinery that some anti-gun people think it is. Like it can be a tool for good, and for many people it is.
Yeah. Since I started carrying like full time, I haven't lost a road rage incident yet. You flash that blicky at them, boy.
That's nuts, man. It's like they don't want that smoke.
Yeah.
You know, that's
I just cut people off just for funsies now.
Dude, it's funny you say that, man, because my road rage has gotten significantly better since I started carrying. I know, I'm assuming you're kidding, but
I am kidding.
Listen, I'll be the first to say the first rule of gun safety is to have fun. Second rule is to look good, and then you got to get serious. But everyone thinks like, oh, you carry a gun because you got a small dick. You can carry a gun because you want to be Mr. Tough Guy. I'm less tough now that I have a gun than I was ever before. I used to do dumb shit on my bike, dude. Like I would brake check cars on my chopper. Like why? That's the dumbest fucking thing ever. They'd cut me off, so I'd get in front of them and be like, I'm cool with being like a human marker on the road. Yeah, like what? It's so stupid. I will go out of my way to like avoid conflict now if I'm carrying my gun on me, because that's the legal ramifications of getting into an altercation now that you have a gun on you are significantly higher than they were if you were just some drunk asshole going fisticuffs.
Yeah, true. And that's the thing, is being a responsible gun owner versus being a gun owner. Like I've met a lot of meatheads over the years, and like fucking pulling it out at parties and fucking stupid shit. Pulling it out during an altercation, and that's how people get blasted, dude. I've seen, I mean, we have the internet now. I've seen dudes like in road rage incidents, dude runs up to the other guy with a gun, not assuming the other guy in the car has a gun, and he gets killed. Gun. Yeah, and he gets shot in the face. So, yeah, it's not a fucking game, dude, but it is nice to know that, like, definitely, like, out where I live out in the boonies, dude, and there's predators all around. And I go out there if there's fucking bobcats and shit, and I try to hit them. They're faster than fuck, and it's dark, but bears, coyotes, all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
And we have some livestock, so we try to keep them safe. But also, it's nice to know that if someone breaks into my house in the middle of the night, like I don't have to call the cops.
Yeah. What's the like? Whereabouts do you live? Like, how far away from like the police station do you live?
Oh, the police station. I'm probably like 5 minutes from the Henniker PD.
Oh, okay. Well, typically, like in every town in America, it's like the police response is something like over 15 minutes, and by that time, you could be a lamp.
Oh yeah.
you could be in the whole done rubbing the skin butter on your back, and I say that facetiously, but like a lot can happen in 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, and I don't want the cops coming to my house. Dude, I don't want them blasting me away. They come run in, and I have a gun, and then they shoot me. Fuck them. They're idiots.
If once the situation is done, great. Then you control the narrative. You can say, "Hey, I had a break-in. There is no more threat." That's like one of the big things that like I remember thinking, what am I going to say if I shoot someone? Because that's one of the things you probably thought, like, as soon as I get a gun, I'm all of a sudden I might have a problem, and I might have to shoot someone. It's like these are the thoughts that you have as a gun owner all of a sudden. And I remember one of the things that they said was like, never say that you shot someone. Say that you were attacked and you defended yourself, and like the person is wounded, send an ambulance, or dead, send an ambulance. It's the second you say you shot someone, they're gonna treat the call as if there's a shooter, and the response is significantly different than there's been instances of I think in Colorado, a good Samaritan stopped a mass shooting, and because he was holding the gun when the cop showed up, the cop shot him and killed him. So like, yeah, the cops don't fuck around. They're they're all, the vast majority of them are also idiots. So it's you mix roid rage with the constant desire to be accepted by their fathers and prove themselves, and they're like, this is it, this is when I'm going to make daddy proud of me, and bam, I'm going to shoot the guy standing in the front lawn in his underwear holding a Glock because he just shot the bad guy.
Well, just from personal experience, dude, cop has never helped me in my life.
Yeah,
and they ain't going to start now.
Yeah. Dude, that's
like decades and decades of experience. I've never gotten help by a cop ever.
Yeah, dude. What state do you live in?
New Hampshire.
Yeah, we just went to New Hampshire this last weekend. Yeah, dude, you so many of these calls, like I've been lucky, my interactions with cops have been I've had a couple negative experiences, but for the most part, I tend not to interact with them if I can help it, aside from getting pulled over from speeding and whatnot. But yeah, I've there's been a few situations where I was like, I'm definitely getting arrested because this cop is escalating the situation and I know where this is going. And like by the grace of baby Jesus, did not go down that road. But I feel for people that are like in the inner city that interact with cops like on the reg and have this like higher propensity to have a negative interaction with cops. Because like I'll be honest, I look like a cop. So when a cop approaches me, I'm also a firefighter. So like when I have a sticker on my car, and I think that's a little bit of a buffer, but I know like some of my friends that don't have the benefit of being a white dude with a mustache that, depending on the day of the week, may or may not look like a skinhead, and they like will have wildly different experiences than I do.
You have like a firefighter sticker on the back.
Yeah, like the union logo.
I have a bumper sticker that says "Only gay cops pull me over."
I've seen that. I love that.
I actually don't. They'll pull me over anyways.
I saw a morale patch like for the front of a plate carrier that says, "If you shoot me, you're gay."
Actually, shout out to Pizza Overlord. I just ordered my Thin Blue Line 1312 sticker. That's in the mail.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be in the mail.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna put that on the back and see what they think about that. They'll probably be like, "Oh, you support the boys of blue." I was gonna ask you about the relationship between firefighters and cops though, because you guys are kind of in the same world. You know what I mean? Like there's
yeah.
And I was the example I always give, when I come back to is like in The Departed when Matt Damon's like, "Oh, go save a fucking cat up a tree" or some shit, like, and I was like, do you guys actually get along? Like, or do cops and firefighters actually dislike each other?
There's a professional relationship that exists when, we're on scene, when stuff is happening and, the public can see what's going on. I'm pretty lucky with where I work. The cops are not that bad. I've seen a couple bad cops. Luckily, most of them have left. It's because the mindset's way different. But more than less, our interactions have been either neutral or positive, like at my job. But that being said, the calls that we are on at the same scene together are not the kinds of calls, for the most part, where those kind of escalations are going to happen. Drug overdoses, sure. Like when we Narcan somebody and they wake up and they're angry and stuff. But that's for the most part, like we control the scene there. Car accidents and whatnot. But
are you a full-time firefighter?
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you been doing that for?
8 years in February.
8 years.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's a good time, man.
Yeah. Yeah, Fred.
Yeah, that was
fucking Loctite. He's gonna be a fireman.
I heard about that. I heard him.
Yeah, he loves it. He's been taking shifts and shit. He's loving it, man.
That's good.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him in a while. He last time we talked, he yelled at me and unfriended me on Facebook. So I would talk. It was something about politics. Like I don't know. He said, I don't know. I would like to think that I had an extremely nuanced and correct view, and he was just yelling at me out of anger. But I don't remember what it was about. I have no hard feelings about him. It was a very tense time, I'm sure, and like politically speaking or whatever. And we probably just disagreed. And he had a lower tolerance for bullshit than I did. So
if it was at Deadbeat and it was the year he was taking Adderall, that would explain it.
It was not at Deadbeat. We got along at Deadbeat. I remember that. It was literally just a Facebook interaction, and I noticed that he unfriended me after that. I was like, all right, all right, yeah, it was Facebook of all places. It was like some boomer shit.
I try to stay.
I hope he's
Facebook.
doing well.
Yeah, helike doing good, and
that's good, man.
Yeah, I'm sure it's water under the bridge.
Yeah. No, like I said, it was like I like laughed about it for a night, and I think I talk about it like maybe once a year with the Dirty Builds dudes when I ask how he's doing, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But Yeah, that's cool. I do remember they're the ones who told me that he was going to be a firefighter, and I was like, oh, cool. Best of luck. That's it's a good gig. It's harder to get pensions now. Like my job doesn't have a pension, but it's still a good job.
Oh, for real? That's
yeah, no penny, but we got a 401k and like other retirements and stuff, other retirement plans and whatnot. But like it's still a good job for somebody without a college education who's a piece of shit like I am. So
yeah, I like firemen put out fires that save kittens.
Yeah,
and they do a lot of that first responder shit. Like I was at the beach over the summer. First, there was some old lady got like fucking heat stroke, and she was on the beach, and they couldn't get her off. Fire truck showed up first. They had the stretcher. They had the fucking. They ran down. They got her. Then an ambulance showed up, and then a cop like 20 minutes later showed up, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on here?" He's like asking me. I'm like, "We have a fucking radio, you idiot."
Don't talk to cops.
Yeah, I was like, I don't answer.
Am I being detained?
Yeah.
Dude, am I free to go?
Dude, I just like.
Sir, I'm just looking for the victim.
Yeah.
I know my rights.
I was just like, too little, too late, bud. But
yeah,
I watch those videos, and I get just so fired up, like on TikTok or whatever, when like the guy's like, "No, I can hear you fine." He has his window like open a crack.
I know.
I fucking love that. I'm just like, yes. They've been fucking with us for so many years. I love it when people fuck them back. Me, I don't. I couldn't do that. I don't have the bandwidth. I'm just like, what's up? What do you want to give me? Give me the fucking ticket. I'll see you in court.
Yeah. That's usually my. Especially now that I have a kid, I think of things way differently. I was way more confrontational 3 years ago than, and I'm not saying like I was a intentional dick, but I would go out of my way to like tell someone they were wrong if I believed that. Whereas like now it's like, and even my wife has told me before, like in the passenger seat, it was like, you have a kid, you have like, watch what you're doing.
Yeah.
And like as she could see me, my face getting red kind of thing. But yeah, it is wild. Carry a gun and have a kid, and you're most people, if you're wired right, become a nicer person. For me at least, a big part of that was when I started carrying a gun.
So what is your everyday carry gun?
I have a Smith & Wesson M&P 40. It's actually, I've had it for like 10 years, and I just have not gotten a new. I have other guns. Like I bought a Glock 19X to do competitions with. I put a Steiner MPS red dot on that. Excuse me. But I don't have an appendix holster for it, so I don't carry that. My M&P has just been like my daily carry. It's got a Streamlight TLR1 on it, and some goon tape on the grip for extra aesthetics. Spray painted the slide OD green at one point, and it looks like some kind of like weathered skin out of Call of Duty at this point. But yeah, that's my carry gun. It's something special. And then the Glock I use for competitions. I would carry with that. I just need to get an appendix holster for it. Really?
All right, so you're gonna have to assume that you're talking to a child. That's
oh, that's fine. Yes,
I've never heard any of this shit before. I'm like, I know like 3 guns. I own
the appendix carry goes by your no zone.
That's the one that points the barrel directly at your fucking dick.
Directly at your meat and sausage. Yeah,
with a round loaded in the chamber, right?
Yeah, I just like the the thrill of not knowing when I'm going to lose my balls.
That one really does fuck me up.
Dude, it's what it is. It's confidence. It's 100% blind trust. No, but it's like knowing that your gun is not going to just go off unless you pull the trigger, and then buying a holster that sufficiently covers the trigger so it will never go off unless you pull it with your finger.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, I can point this close to my dick and be safe.
That's a lot of confidence right there.
Or I just have a really small dick.
It'll just graze it anyway.
It's gonna miss. It's gonna completely miss.
Yeah,
I'm mushrooming right now, just completely inside my body.
The problem I have with the appendix carry is that I'm a fat guy, so it's actually really uncomfortable to have a gun there. So I have to do I stick the barrel down my ass crack, which is like the least
facing down, right?
Yeah.
Facing down. Okay, good.
But the other thing that I found is, and I don't know how you feel about these, but the belly bands are pretty cool because I can carry it in the front. It's a little higher.
Yeah.
But that
I'm not opposed to them. My only caveat with that would be to get. So you should look into this. It's called the Filster Enigma. It's like a belly band on crack, and safer, much safer, because it has a Kydex holster, but you can carry it essentially wherever you want. Dudes carry it with sweatpants. Chicks carry it with like dresses. Dudes carry it with dresses, whatever your style. But like there's it's awesome. It suspends itself on your body, so it doesn't rely on a belt, doesn't rely on like like a pants or whatever. So you can wear it in like basketball shorts. The belly bands, good idea, but they have a soft trigger guard. So like the piece that covers the trigger is soft, and I've never seen it specifically with those, but I know with soft leather holsters, they have a tendency to warp over time, especially when you start sweating. And
I do quite a bit of that.
I sweat significantly, so like it's something I've thought about a lot. I just like having something hard in front of the trigger guard, because if you think about like if you have to fight someone, or like you fall hard and something gets jammed in there or whatever, and just you catch it just right. I saw a picture of a dude that blew a hole in his asshole or in his ass cheek because the leather from his holster went inside the trigger guard and pulled the trigger when he reholstered it. And like, yeah, that's just soft stuff. I'm a Kydex dude, like 100%, because it's hard. It doesn't warp like that. And yeah, the Filster Enigma is super dope. It's expensive. It's like $130, I want to say. But it's super modular, and you can use it with a variety of outfits. Like any body type can use it. And I just barely appendix carry. Like I have a belly, and if I sit in the car for a while, like for a long drive, I've got an uncomfortable red mark on the bottom of my stomach when I get out. But I still do it just because I honestly started doing it because I almost lost my gun on the highway while riding. I hit a bump, and my holster, this is also why I use snap clips, not like the alligator clips that just like slide over your belt anymore. My holster bumped up on my belt and was no longer hooked underneath my belt anymore. And my gun itself, I noticed, was like a fraction of an inch backed out of the holster too. So I was like, all right, never again. I'm going to have it in front of me under my fucking stomach, so I know where it is and I can feel it at all times. Because, but that was just my personal experience. If I had like a Road King or something, I probably would have never had that issue.
I mean, dude, I'm the same way, just with my wallet. I'm the dude that reaches back every 5 seconds to see if my wallet's still in my back pocket. It's never fallen out.
Yeah, I'm a huge like pro like wallet chain guy, and my wife makes fun of me. Because I will only put it on when I'm riding, and so it looks like I'm just super poser. Like, yeah, crazy. And I LARP, dude. Trust me, I LARP. But like, I try to be efficient, and I try to use things that have function. And that's like a wallet chain's great because your wallet's there, and if it falls out, it's still there.
Yeah, the only thing I worry about the wallet chain is depending on which side your drive is on. I don't want to get caught in the chain that's sucking me into the back tire.
Yeah. If you have it, like I had a closed belt-driven primary, so like I never had to worry about that. But I could definitely see with like a chain or like an open primary or some more chain. But I could definitely see that being like a pucker factor.
Oh, definitely. You had mentioned too in Connecticut, because state laws regarding guns are vastly different, especially in New England. Like, so in New Hampshire, we are constitutional carry, right? Concealed carry. You can go to a gun store, buy a gun and ammo. They do a quick background check to make sure that you're not a psychopath or whatever. Yeah. And then you walk out with it and you stuff it in the front of your pants and you're good to go. But you can't get out of New England because there's like a wall of gun laws around you.
Yes.
Like Massachusetts and shit. So what are the gun laws like down in Massachusetts, Connecticut?
Massachusetts is actually worse than Connecticut now. They just like executive ordered a whole bunch of dumb stuff. But Connecticut we got a 10-round magazine limit. No assault weapons. They actually just grandfathered in, or they actually just passed a second ban that now bans the others, which was our way around the AR ban. For a while, it was like essentially if you took an AR pistol, with an arm brace and then put a front grip on it. But the front grip was under a certain length and it was like a specific angle. It wasn't a pistol, it wasn't a rifle, it was an other. So there was no law saying you couldn't own an other. They just banned those, unfortunately. Yeah, pretty bleak in Connecticut, unfortunately. I'm lucky enough that my mags that I had, my like 30 round mags, I had prior to the ban, so they were grandfathered in. Yeah, and like at the time, I just recently bought that Glock, but I have one 30 round Glock mag that I bought because I had a Ruger PC9 and it takes Glock mags. So like now that I have that and on a Glock, when I go shoot competitively, I can bring like a long boy with me and it helps out.
Good, dude.
But you can't buy any new ones, fortunately.
That's fucked, dude. Now, as far as like, all right, so a Better Way 2A, the 2A and Better Way 2A stands for Second Amendment.
Yeah, for sure.
What's your, I guess, how do you view the Second Amendment, right? Like, because everybody has their own opinions on the matter, but what do you believe the Second Amendment means?
So, me personally, I think the Second Amendment, the purpose of the Second Amendment is to make it harder for the government to arbitrarily pass laws to restrict guns. I don't think rights come from the Constitution. I think things like, the right to be able to protect yourself and to be safe and to protect your family, your homestead, whatever may have you. I think rights like that are inherent. Everyone in the world has those rights. We just happen to have legislative text that guarantees that right to an extent. But yeah, I'm like a Second Amendment absolutist. I don't think that gun laws solve gun crime. I think root cause mitigation solves gun crime, and the reason no politician wants to do things like invest in healthcare that will help out with suicide rates or address the critical mental health problem we have in this country that is the only modern country in the world breeding mass shooters at the rate that we are. The reason they don't want to touch these things is because they're not instant fixes, and it's something that would take years, if not like a generation or two, to fix over time. And no politician's gonna win an election by saying, "Hey, I've got a solution that will work," but you're not gonna see it for 20 years. So instead, they say, let's ban this gun because 13 people out of the 30,000 people died with it, and not that that's like a small number, that's 13 too many, but people with ARs kill less than 1% of all the people killed with guns every year. But somehow those are the ones that everybody's concerned with. And yeah, so like I am, based on the evidence that I've consumed over my 10 plus year involvement with this, I am at least in the way gun control is presented now, 100% convinced it does not work the way that anti-gun people want it to work. And as a result, I'm a 2A absolutist. I think like there's no perfect world where everybody can have a gun and everyone's going to be happy and safe and good. But it's better than the alternative where you've got this like overarching government control telling people what they can and can't own, and people having to buy guns illegally to protect themselves from their threats that they face. So
the odd part about the Second Amendment is, well, Second Amendment is a federal amendment, but then states, they make laws that supersede that almost, and it's like, isn't that a step down, right? So if you have a federal right to bear arms, how can Connecticut go and make all these laws about how many fucking bullets you can have and shit? Shouldn't it just be like, oh, you can bear arms?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. The argument that they make is that the laws that they pass do not they don't infringe on the right because there is either no historical So the Bruin decision, the most recent Supreme Court decision, really turned a lot of this on its head, and that's why you see states like New York now openly issuing pistol permits when they weren't before, because the Bruin decision said that if there's no historical precedent for this gun control bill, then it's unconstitutional. So that nullified New York's a lot of New York's gun control, and now they've gone around that by saying you can't carry guns in sensitive places, and then they label pretty much everything a sensitive place. And now we just have to wait for the second wave of legislative process to like remove those restrictions. But Connecticut, in the same way, they argue, the anti-gun legislators argue that it's not restricting your right to do so, because you can still buy guns. You just can't buy that specific gun, a specific type of gun. And, you know, pro-gun people will argue that, like, you know, if it's a commonly used gun and you're banning it, then that is an infringement, because that's been an argument that they've had for years. And one, that you cannot ban commonly used firearms. I'm not 100% sure how Connecticut gets around that, but they do write up the laws in a way so that they are constitutional, which is why they pass. And it takes things like the Bruin decision, which then changed the framework of the argument to then declare it unconstitutional. So you've got these, before the Bruin decision, you could have a gun law that was declared constitutional, even though there was no historical precedent to like justify that. But now that we have the Bruin decision, it has to pass that historical precedent test in order for it to be constitutional. So they're actually in the process of fighting the assault weapons ban in Connecticut. And hopefully, if it's anything like New York, I'm hoping they get somewhere with it.
So where do you draw the line? Because should people be able to have grenade launchers, bazookas? Like,
I mean, if you ask, if you ask me, citizens should be able to have whatever their government has, because if you want to talk about and like I said, this has nothing to do with the Second Amendment. This is you having the right to defend yourself to the scale required in order for you to remain safe. And when you are defending yourself from a threat, whether that threat is like, because your ratio of like defense has to scale to meet the offense you're faced with. And that's how a lot of these laws in these duty to retreat states like Connecticut are argued. Like, was the force that you exerted equal to the force that you were met with? And like, if somebody's chasing after you with a like a paper clip and you shoot him in the face, they're going to say, well, like, that wasn't equal. That's homicide, or that's manslaughter. I think if the ultimate attack on your life is going to be with by a quote unquote bad person who happens to have a grenade launcher and happens to have like a badge or a 3-letter acronym on the back of their jacket, then you should be able to have the same thing too, because it wouldn't be the first time that a government has been objectively cruel and bad to its populace.
Yeah, and it's interesting that there may be an assault weapons ban in Connecticut, but there is no law in the books that you can't build a killdozer.
No, or a flamethrower. Flamethrowers are legal in 48 states.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's fucking great. But like, it's not that they don't want people to have these things. It's that they don't want certain people to have them, because you can have grenades. You just have to register them as a destructive device. So it's not like they're saying you can't have a grenade. They just want to know about it.
I can have a grenade.
Yeah, you can legally own a grenade. You just have to submit a form to the ATF. I think it's a Form 1. I could be wrong, but it's a destructive device grenade, and you have to have it serialized.
A live grenade.
You can have a live grenade. It just has to be registered as I think it's a destructive device.
Shit,
check
dude,
your laws. Check your laws now
this year.
But I'm like, but that's the thing, is like, it's not that you can't have the shit. It's just that they want to control who does and who doesn't. And if that's the case, then why? Like, I get, if you're doing a background check, then do a background check. I have nothing wrong with background checks. But do a background check for my fucking hand grenade. I don't have to pay the government a license to have it, or, you know, a suppressor or anything like that. It's just, you know, I'm not against background checks. I think that, you know, if somebody, there's been times where background checks have failed, but there's also been times where people haven't been able to buy a gun because they failed the background check. And, you know, I think that that's fairly reasonable. What I don't agree with is like universal background checks, and you know, like a registry or anything like that. Because, you know, that's a whole other rabbit hole. But yeah, no, I think that you should be able to have whatever you can afford, really. I mean, you can buy a tank, it just has to have like the barrel plugged or something. But like, so what's the difference between that and like, oh, you're gonna break one law by having a functioning barrel versus you already have the fucking tank.
Right. I don't have the money to buy a tank, but
I don't either.
It would be nice.
It would be.
I don't know if it'd be my daily, but
probably not. Well, if you have the money to buy a tank, you could probably daily it.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plug it, huh? You can always unplug it too.
It's something you have to. It's like, it's got to be rendered inoperable. I think it's more than just plugging it, but
you can just stuff like a watermelon in there.
Yeah, because I think a tank without a barrel or without a usable barrel is just a vehicle. Yeah. You know, it's not a weapon. But yeah, I don't know. I just think the solution to the problem of gun violence is not laws, because the laws are being broken already in order to, you know, to commit the gun violence. We have to look at things like root cause mitigation. We have to look at why, you know, inner cities have exceptionally high gun crime, and a ton of that is because they lack the resources to get the things that they need. They turn to crime because they don't have viable options for a future. You know, schools suck, so they don't think they're going to go to college. They don't think they're going to make money, so they turn to crime, gang violence. You know, it's a multifaceted issue. And then on top of that, you know, why are 14-year-old kids getting a hold of their dad's guns and, you know, shooting up their schools? Because parents are fucking idiots. I don't know. There's a bunch of different things we can do to solve the problem. I don't think laws are the way to do it. Because if you're if a threat of your kid killing other kids and himself is not motivation for you to lock up your gun, a law is not going to do it either.
True. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm always surprised. I'm like, when people are like, we should make laws about stuff, and it's like, you ever been to a fucking DMV? That's how the government works. They suck at everything. They do everything poorly. You know, you want them in charge of what you can and cannot do. And the other thing is too, it's like the Constitution and these amendments. It's not the government saying we're going to give you your guns. No, it's like that's a freedom that we can't take away. You know, it's not them 100%. Giving you privileges. You were imbued with that right from your creator or whatever you believe in, and I like it because it's the great fucking equalizer. You know, you're a decrepit old woman. You have a gun. You have a pretty good shot. You know, to be able to protect yourself. You don't have to rely on other people, especially women. I think every woman should have a gun on them at all times. You know, like there's people that are definitely targets out there. Like I'm a super buff white guy, so like nobody fucks with me. I got a bunch of tattoos. But if I wasn't, you know, I'd be scared shitless, dude.
Yeah. Well, dude, it's like I've been getting blown up over the last few days since the election, with people asking questions about gun ownership for the first time, people looking for resources, because, you know, if it wasn't apparent enough, and, you know, like, without getting into who won and who lost or whatever, the perception that your rights are on the line is a motivator for many people who would not consider a gun prior. And, you know, for some people, it just takes that perspective. And like, I don't blame anybody who didn't think they needed a gun a month ago and now thinks they do. I don't blame anybody, because if we blamed somebody who didn't think they needed to lock their car, and then their car got robbed and now they locked their car, we're not gonna be like, yeah, you're a fucking idiot. And we're gonna be like, glad you locked your car now, you know? And it's the same thing with guns. Like to me, the more the merrier, regardless of where you come from, whether your beliefs are. Like if you see now that or have seen and now decided to get a gun to protect yourself, then more power to you. Like welcome to the fam.
So if you're a new gun owner and you don't know a whole lot about guns, like where do you start? Like what would your suggestion be, like to someone that's like, I feel like I need to be able to protect myself in some manner? What would you tell a new person?
Find classes that you could take. Like a lot of these pistol a lot of these ranges will do classes, beginner classes like pistol 101, rifle 101, and basic classes that are just one step above the basic like pistol qualification course that you take to get your pistol permit, and what if your state mandates that. And it's it'll be things like holstering and unholstering your firearm, holstering and getting on target, um, holstering, shooting, and reholstering, things like that. Um, and it's just slightly more advanced topics. And then after that, once you're comfortable with that, find something more complex. Because at the end of the day, think about why you have a gun. Think about the worst case scenario of when you're going to need that gun. That's the situation that you want to be training for. So it's going to take more than just, taking your gun out and pointing it at your wall once a week to do so. But that's your first thing you do is like where you bought your gun. Ask them if they know of any place to take classes. YouTube is a great resource. Unfortunately, it's a bit of like a culture war on YouTube, but there are a bunch of really good resources on YouTube that will tell you the ins and the outs of gun ownership. Tons of really good pages on Instagram and Facebook of all different persuasions. And the nice thing about the algorithm, because it wants to feed you shit that you like, once you start following and liking gun pages, you're gonna be following more. I personally think you should follow A Better Way 2A, because we try to put out a whole bunch of information. I've got 4 awesome writers that I work with, that come from all different backgrounds and levels of experience. And, we put out good information for gun owners, whether it's safe gun storage or, like we put one out for being safe at the polling booths the other day. Medical is super important, learning if you're going to know how to make holes, you should know how to plug them. So trying to figure out a stop the bleed class in your area, try to find one there, take it. It's honestly, it could feel a little overwhelming sometimes because there's so much shit out there.
There's so much information in that world. Just like, it's one of those things that like you were talking before, you're like, oh, I got an S&P 5 with a fucking this and that. It's like talking to a hot rod guy that's building engine shit. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about,
Yeah.
But,
100%.
You have to get, like, if you want to know, like, at that level, but, like, there are good resources. Like, when I first got into guns, I'm like, like, what kind of gun should I get? You know what I mean? Just something simple like that.
Yeah.
Where do you even start with that, right? Because it's like, all right, well, some people want to do the concealed carry, right? And that's probably best case scenario. Like, because you never know when trouble's going to find you, right? But then there's some people that aren't comfortable with that. They just want one in their home. Like what is your recommendation for, like if you're going to be a gun owner, should you carry every day? And if not, like what kind of gun, like if you're just doing it for home defense, should you have a pistol? Should you have a fucking shotgun? Should you have some grenades? Roll them down the hallway?
Yeah, talk to the ATF, get a form for that. Get on that. You get that before a gun.
You go down the hallway, you're just like, have you roll a grenade down there. Oh shit.
Yeah, just hear rolling down the fucking hallway.
Can you get flashbangs and shit? Like other kinds of grenades?
Yeah. Oh, there's I think I forget the name of the company. I think it's IWI, something like that. They make flashbangs, smoke grenades, stuff like that. You just have to sign a waiver that says like it is like you're not going to use it on people or something like that.
Unless absolutely necessary.
No, like it's a prop.
Oh, you can't. Oh, fuck.
It's a prop, like quote unquote.
Okay.
something like that. Yeah, I mean, listen, the world's your oyster, but for legal purposes, that's a joke. Yeah, no, my recommendation, like, and this is, like I said, from my personal experience, years of experience, the research that I use to determine what people should get is, whether you like cops or not, look at the guns that major municipalities are carrying. They spend a fuck ton of money to figure out what is going to be the best for the most people, what is going to be the cheapest to maintain, but also good quality. Because think about the shit that they're expecting to do with their guns. They're not going to get a $300 used gun from a pawn shop. Don't buy a Taurus. I know there's going to be some gun owners out there that are listening to this that are going to be like, I have a Taurus and I've shot 1,000 rounds through it, no issues. You won't find any police department, major metropolitan police department, that carries Taurus. Quality control is shit. So yeah, you could have gotten a good one, but if you know chopper parts and you know Chinese parts, quality control is, you can get one that never fails. But if you buy 20, they're not all going to be the same. 9mm polymer frame striker fired pistols would be like my number one. So a Glock, a Smith & Wesson M&P, or a Bodyguard if you're looking for something smaller, something without a hammer, so striker fire, that's an internal firing pin, polymer frame, so like the plastic frame versus a steel frame like a SIG or like a 1911 or something like that. 9mm because it's plentiful, it's cheap enough, it's got good ballistics, and you could find it anywhere, and there's tons of different brands. You can buy reloads for cheap, you can buy super high performance ones that, you know, are going to cost you an arm and a leg, but every gun shop has them. Yeah, so striker fired polymer frame, 9mm, and then you can go based on size. If you want something that you're going to carry every day, you can go with a subcompact or a compact. That's just like the length of the slide. So subcompact, I don't know if there's a specific number where it cuts off, but like a subcompact could be like a Ruger LCP2, which is a 9mm, very small polymer frame pistol, where like a regular compact could be like your Glock like 43. I think that could even be like a subcompact, but depending on how you're going to carry it, like the best way to go about doing this is go to a gun store that has a bunch of options, find the gun that you want, shoot it, see how you like it. You're not going to have any idea what to look for, but like I've also, you know, I got lucky with the gun that I had because I didn't know any of this when I bought it. But my first gun was my M&P 40. It just so happened to be a very popular gun amongst police departments, and that's why it doesn't suck. But that's why I say start with that. Start with a gun, Glock, Smith & Wesson, and that police departments use, and you're going to be much less likely to be disappointed with it once you start actually knowing what you're doing. And then from there, you know, holsters, get a holster, buy a safe, whether it's a pistol safe that goes in your nightstand or a gun safe that is stand up if you plan on buying more guns. But I've learned that, you know, you can spend a lot of money buying shit that you later find out you don't need. Holsters, like I love my Filster. Filster is like PHLSTER. Filster is phenomenal. Gorilla Tactical makes Kydex holsters. They're our boys. We like them, but they also make good holsters. We're not just saying that because we like them. But you'll, like, you know, you Google enough, like you'll start seeing names over and over again that are synonymous with reliability and synonymous with like good customer service and quality, and you'll get a feel for that. But as far as the guns go, yeah, striker fired polymer frame, 9mm. That major metropolitan police departments use. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, I know.
That was a long-winded answer to your question. I apologize.
Well, we have SIG here in New Hampshire.
SIG is good also.
SIG is good, and they got the contract for like the US military.
Most of SIGs are good. They came out with that one that would go off when dropped, but they say they fixed it.
Well, you might need to do that sometime. Like if someone's robbing you and you have your gun in your hand,
yeah, throw it at the ground. Sure, I'll drop on
and shoot.
Call an ambulance, but not for me. Yeah,
Yeah, I ended up, I got a Glock 19, and it's so you can't. You said in Connecticut you can only have 10 rounds, so you can't even get
Yeah.
like a Glock 19 with a, like how it comes with a 15-round clip.
No, it's got a little like a block in it that only lets it hold 10 rounds.
It has a block in it, so that's how you can.
Yeah.
What the?
They're like specific Connecticut magazines that, because you have the little holes on the side that tell you how many rounds you have in there. It only goes up to 10, and then there's a block.
So does Glock do that? So like when they distribute their guns, they're like, all right, this is for Connecticut. This one's for California, only has one bullet in it.
Yeah. Yeah. One bullet and a rape whistle.
Yeah, dude. I remember when I first started shooting guns and shit, and I was like, holy hell, dude, you do not want to catch one of these motherfuckers, dude.
A bullet?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
No, dude.
Yeah. Getting shot sucks.
Like, you hear people get shot,
but...
you watch movies and shit, but like when you start shooting guns, you're like, this is so fucking powerful, dude.
Yeah.
You pull the trigger, and then the thing is just like, whatever you shot is just fucked.
Bro, you pull the trigger, it's like death. Like, what? Yeah, it's nuts. Tons of people learn the hard way, but yeah, it is. Yeah, no, and that's it. If you're right in the head, that should humble you.
Yeah, and my boy, he was a hunter, and he came home, and he's a fucking idiot. And he goes, this is a silly story. He has a shotgun. He's living in
I love silly stories.
He's living in an apartment at the time, and he takes his shotgun and he puts it in his laundry hamper, and he like slams it down with the barrel facing up toward him, and it fucking blasts his ceiling right by his head.
What the fuck?
Yeah, just like slams down a fucking shotgun, and it almost took him out, dude. It went right by his head. Like,
why did he?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's an idiot.
Listen, maybe that was. I hope that was the wake up call that he needed. But
yeah, you do stupid, mindless shit like that though, unless you're like really into it. Because like I've been handling guns, and when I first started, like every once in a while I'd do something really stupid, like point the barrel in the wrong direction or something, and you catch yourself, and you're like, oh, fuck, that could be wicked bad.
Well, that's why, like, you get super comfortable with the rules, like the safety rules, before you start holding and carrying a gun. And you like, and friends will tell you all the time, like, if you go to the range with people who are on their shit, it's not uncommon. Like, if you get really good at not breaking the rules, obviously, but it happens, especially in competition. Sometimes, like, they have a very strict, in most competitions, like, don't break the 180 rule. So you can go 180 degrees to the left, 180 degrees to the right, but as soon as you break that 180, you're disqualified. And there are people who will like yell at you with authority, but not out of anger, like, so you don't get disqualified because they want you to continue competing, kind of thing. Like, watch the 180, and you're like, oh, because when you're running and doing shit, like, sometimes you slip, sometimes you, but you'll see people who are super conscious with it. And it doesn't take a long time to get this way, to be honest. Like, a couple competitions, maybe. I mean, honestly, you just carry enough, you're thinking about it. There will be dudes who will fall, and like they'll fall in a way where they'd never break that 180. They'll fall and keep their arm extended downrange as they fall. And it's like, it's like a puppet.
Mm-hmm.
There's just they're held up by that marionette. But yeah, I mean, mistakes happen. It's. Don't beat yourself up. Don't do it again.
And I see like these some dudes, they'll get their kids' guns, motherfucking 5-year-olds and shit, with like shooting rifles.
Yeah.
And I guess it depends on the kid, but like, dude, my kids, no fucking way. Dude, they got Nerf guns, and I'm like, don't shoot me in the dick with that thing. 2 seconds later,
and they immediately shoot you in the dick.
Unloaded. Yeah.
It really depends on the kid, man. Like, I've seen some kids shoot. There's this girl, I think she's like 13 now, on Instagram. It's called Autumn's Armory. I think she's on YouTube also, but she shoots competitively. She shoots everything, and she's been shooting for years. So like way before she was 13, just super responsible. There are kids who are definitely responsible enough to handle a firearm in a controlled setting, or at least be taught and talked to about guns, so that when they are ready, they fully appreciate the severity of the risks.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, like, yeah, absolutely, it is you got to know your kid. Um, these parents that their kids get a hold of their guns and go shoot people, and they just like didn't think they would ever do it. Like, that's bullshit. You fucking deserve everything coming your way because you're a piece of shit parent. You got to know your kid. That's, it's like, I remember sitting on my dad's lap driving his car down our street to go home. He would press the gas. I couldn't reach the pedals yet, but he knew that I wasn't going to crash the fucking car at 25 miles an hour, at 15 miles an hour down our street, because he knew me. Mm-hmm. If I was a spaz and an idiot kid, I hope he wouldn't have let me do that.
Right.
Same with guns. Like, you have the power. You're giving your child the power to kill someone. Even if it's at the range in the backyard, you have to make sure that they understand the monumental responsibility that they have. And you can buy kids, like, it sounds weird, but you can buy like single shot Ruger rifles, that shoot 122 at a time. So when they pull the trigger and it goes off, there's nothing else there. So there are definitely ways to do it. I mean, they make smaller versions of guns, like smaller ARs that are 22, that are meant for kids to shoot, or smaller frame people to shoot.
Yeah.
It really
getting hit with a 22. I mean, it's kind of like a BB gun. I've been shooting myself in the stomach for years with 22, just to kind of like build up
an immunity. Yeah. How's it working?
It hurts a lot.
I still bleed. I don't know what it is.
Don't come out.
The next one's gonna do it.
I feel full all the time.
Yeah. Once you build up that like plate of lead in your stomach, you'll eventually be able to deflect the ones that are coming in.
Well, I started off, my first gun was a 22, and it was so quiet. And then once you get into the bigger calipers, you're like, they're scary as fuck, dude.
Dude, 22,
you need to wear like ear protection and shit.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like, that's, I wear like a pair of like $50 ear pro that are, I bought from a gun store or whatever. But like, I have friends of mine that are wearing these like Comtac or Sword-in ear pro that are like $380 that you could hook radios up to and talk to each other. I'm not at that level. Like, they've got like night vision and shit like that. This is like what they spend their money on. So it makes sense for them.
But that's the thing, is like why I can't get super into guns is because it's first of all, guns are expensive to buy. And then the aftermarket is insane.
Yeah. Oh, it's nuts. Like, you thought choppers were expensive, or motorcycles in general. Guns go crazy.
Yeah.
You want to buy like a decent optic, like a decent scope for your gun, like an LPVO, you're spending over $1,000 easily. For like a good one, $2,000. I mean, they go crazy. You can buy a $6,000 optic, and then you go into like night vision, thermal. Yeah, it gets stupid.
Yeah, it's like, do you want to be into bikes, cars, or guns? Choose one.
Choose one.
You can't afford them all.
Exactly. Or, start an OnlyFans and maybe get two. That's if anybody buys your shit, though.
Yeah, nobody's buying my shit, dude.
No. I could start an OnlyFans, but it would be the saddest OnlyFans in existence.
Dude, the OnlyFans shit, like some of these girls, dude, they're just making like
raking it in.
I'm like, you fucking, that's unfair. That's sexist.
Yeah, but like, think about it. It's the dudes that are paying the money. So like, is it sexist?
Yeah.
Listen, that's what we should do. Get your boy to start an OnlyFans, and then you support that shit. You support him.
Yeah, support the boys, dude.
Yeah, you support him. But
I don't know a single person in my personal life that has contributed. Well, I guess they probably don't talk about it, but like giving money to people.
Yeah,
like
I don't know anybody. Not for porn.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, not for porn. You can get it for free. But like, I guess there's that. I don't know. You buy like craft beer. Maybe some people like craft porn. And that's what they see OnlyFans as.
Yeah, I don't get it, dude.
Micro brews.
Well, I guess if you're not into bikes, guns, or cars, you can get into OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
Gotta spend your money somewhere, right?
Yeah, that's how they get you. It's like, I'm sure, I don't know how much it costs, but I'm sure they get you like cheap. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but
I actually have. We actually have an OnlyFans here at the Lowlife podcast.
Do you?
We do.
Sick. Is it like instead of a Patreon?
Nobody's buying in though.
Oh damn! Is it just feet pics?
I should do that. I have some pretty gross feet, and there's some weirdos.
Some people are into that. Some people like you like farting into the microphone, and they want to like smell it and stuff. So like, if there's a market for that, there's a market for feet pics, for gross feet pics.
Yeah, for hobbit feet. Someone has a hobbit foot fetish.
For sure. I'm sure. Yeah,
right,
absolutely.
I'm gonna throw up some feet pics. Maybe I'll start with just the bottom of them. I'll move. You have to subscribe if you want to get the top view.
You got hobbit feet. You gotta like take videos of them like moving through dirt and stuff, and like just like dirt coming through the toes.
Yeah,
I don't know what people like, but I would imagine there's people out there. Like,
that's the thing. Is someone's into my feet.
If you can think it, somebody will fuck it.
Dude, the other thing I wanted to ask you about. So you started a Better Two-Way a long time ago. You said back in after the Pulse nightclub shooting. When did you start podcasting?
Like 2 years ago. I think roughly 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Are you guys? Do you guys do it YouTube and audio podcast, or where can
we just started doing video? So we just started releasing the video to YouTube like maybe less than 10 episodes ago.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we're on Apple, Spotify. Apparently, there's like Samsung podcasts. I don't know. I just RSS it out to everybody.
I do all the editing for our podcast, and there was one episode where we're talking about something. And you know how you do like the subtitles?
Yeah.
Well, we're using Riverside. I'm gonna call them out because fucking pieces of shit for letting this happen. But we're talking about I think we're talking about heavy equipment like diggers.
Oh no.
Guess what they fucking captioned?
No.
Yeah. So I didn't notice it because I'm doing the video and audio stuff and I'm not reading the captions. But then as soon as it dropped, people were like, "Hey, just so you know."
Holy
the fucking fuck. So dude, I went fucking ballistic on Riverside. Dude.
Why would they even have that word
in your dictionary?
I'm sure it's like a third-party transcribing app that they use, and it's like it uses the dictionary, but like that's some oversight.
Yeah. I was like, that's the one word nobody can use ever, and you have
that's the one you should look for and take out.
The worst part was that in the context he was using it in, it fucking like made sense.
No. Yeah, dude. Oh god.
Yeah, I was like,
could you hear him say? Could you hear him say the D, like the duh sound, or did it sound like the word also?
He's like the way he talks, it kind of. And with the audio like not being perfect, you could have heard it either way. But it's like they should have just not done anything. Don't put that word up.
Don't put that word.
But I had to go back and be like, "Oh fuck, dude, I got to get this down like right now." And then I edited that part, to have the appropriate fucking caption. But I was like, Jesus Christ, how many people did we just lose as listeners forever?
Wow.
We ain't that kind of podcast, bro. I don't even think you can have that kind of podcast.
I don't think you can. I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
I hope not.
We've said some pretty like off color things, but not that bad. Yeah. I hope not. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
free speech, brother.
Yeah, dude. Well, that's the other thing is we're talking about 2A, and then now we're talking about First Amendment 1A. Too, and it's like, where does it stop? You know what I mean? Like,
listen, they've got their
able to do that if you really want to.
Yeah, if you really want to. That's wild, dude. That's awful. Oh man. And like our listeners, are, I would say it's like if you're saying something and a bunch of chopper people are listening to they know you. Like if it's a chopper podcast, chopper people are listening, and you say something. It's not like ABC News where everybody watches it regardless of like what your beliefs and interests are.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, and I'm surprised we didn't get canceled for that. Like, we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, and we've been canceled before.
Really?
Yeah, we got canceled like last year in October.
What happened?
I don't know. They won't tell us.
Like on YouTube?
No, YouTube didn't cancel us, but Spotify, I just got like a fucking email and it was like, you're done. Locked our account out. all of our episodes. There was like 200 something episodes, all gone.
Holy shit!
They took all the money in the bank that we had, and they never responded to me. I sent them hundreds of emails to. It's like, can you just tell me what the fuck happened? And they took it all down. So we came back and we couldn't even have our own name. We came back that week as the Lowlife Podcast. Because the Lowlife Chopper podcast was
taken.
Was done. It was lost.
Technically. Oh, like you couldn't use it at all.
Couldn't use it at all. So we came back as the Lowlife Podcast. But yeah, they never told us what the fuck it was. So I have no idea. But YouTube didn't take it down.
That's garbage. Wait, so how did Spotify take your money?
Because we had like a subscription thing on Spotify and ad revenue and stuff. And they just, it's in a Stripe account or whatever. And they're just like, locked. Okay. It wasn't like thousands of bucks, but you know, for us, still, when you're spending hundreds of dollars every month for a podcast, having hundreds of dollars taken away from you kind of fucking hurts. Because then you can float it yourself, you know. But yeah, dude, that's the other thing. It's just like freedom of speech, man. Like these platforms, they're so fucking powerful, and they don't even need to give you a reason. They just fucking shut you down. And what if it was like a full-time thing? Like, what if we I feed my children off this fucking podcast? I don't.
Yeah, and you get no warning, no strikes, just done.
Yep. Yeah, and they won't even tell you what. They won't even respond, dude. They're just like, all right, you know, like, we don't care. Yeah,
we've got bigger fish to fry. That's so annoying. I know.
I bet if I was Joe Rogan, they'd fucking respond.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, exactly. Then you could have the president on also.
Yeah, I was thinking about maybe.
That's why Kamala lost, because she didn't go on Joe Rogan.
She lost because she didn't go on the Lowlife podcast. I invited her.
Well, dude, I'm saying that makes way more sense.
Yeah, you have to get that Lowlife demographic out and vote, dude.
Yeah, for sure. I'm saying that's man, I'm so glad the election's over and I don't have to see political ads all over the TV every waking moment. Because that's like, you know, obviously when we're not saving lives, which at work, which is often and usually most of the day, the TV is on and we happen to catch a glimpse of the TV. It's like a political ad or an ad about boner pills or fucking, you know, like blood pressure medication. Because we watch the History Channel and it's all old people that watch it apparently.
Yeah, dude, just like fucking Ozempic ads.
Yeah, everywhere.
Or like the Ozempic knockoff stuff. And I'm like,
yeah. I love how it's like, hey, lower your A1C and you might even lose a little weight. Like, there's nobody on Ozempic that is like there for A1C at this point compared to the people that are like, I need to lose 50 pounds. Give me a drug.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna ask
I don't knock it. Like if it's what helps people be healthy, like listen, I've tried diets. They don't work on me. They're just I'm built different. No, I can't fucking diet. I don't have the willpower to diet. Like I just don't. I've tried it. I go 100% in and it's too much for me and I quit like a week into it. And that's the problem. But like then I won't do it again for another month and a half, 2 months, 3 months, years.
See, my big problem is like when you have kids eat like shit, dude. So I'll be on a diet and I'll be like, oh yeah, this is fucking good. And then they get some chicken nuggies, dude, and some French fries.
And like, dude, don't I know it? And you have 3. I have 1, so that's like, that's significantly more.
And you have to get food for kids, you know, like they want dinosaur nuggets.
God forbid.
But, you know, I know, you never grow up. I still want dinosaur nuggies too.
I like dinosaur nugs.
Yeah,
I did get her some chicken nugs today, dude, that are absolutely disgustingly good. They are chicken breast. It's chicken breast meat in the shape of nuggets. It says it on it like in this pompous fucking. It's like nugget shaped chicken breast, breaded chicken breast. And I was like, I see what you did there, and it's fucking good. It's like seasoned. I got this like ranch flavored seasoning. Yeah, it's like it reminds me of Popeye's chicken.
Oh fuck, dude, Popeye's
like the mashed potato bowl, KFC mashed potato bowl chicken kind of stuff.
Yeah, dude. Well, because like if you get the dirt cheap shit, there's like chicken feet in it and stuff. They just grind up whatever, dude.
Dude, I used to like think I was conscious of what I ate, but I was not nearly as conscious of the shit that I was putting into my body until I started buying food for my daughter. And now it's like high fructose corn syrup is in everything. I was looking for jelly today, like peanut butter and jelly. I will never get Welch's again. I will never get like these other ones. Like high fructose corn syrup is in everything, and it's so fucking bad for you. You can buy jelly. It's like $1 more, but it doesn't have high fructose corn syrup in it, and I'd rather do that. But
well, that's why kids are so fucking huge these days, dude, because they're eating like fucking kings and queens. They have like organic strawberries and shit. Our parents just fed us frozen shit out of a bag.
Yeah, and if you didn't like it, you didn't eat.
Yeah. Nowadays, it's like, there's food available too.
That's what I'm saying, man. Here's a hot take. If we're not going to curb the food our kids eat, we need to roll back child labor laws, because there were no fat kids working in the mines.
True.
The children yearn for the mines.
Dude, every friend I have that has a kid that like hit puberty, they're like 7 feet tall. They're fucking giants, dude. We're creating a new race of giants.
It's gonna be like Attack on Titan type shit. And,
like I got boys they're like fucking 5'9" because they started smoking when they were 3, and then their fucking kid is 7 feet tall.
Wow.
At like 14. I'm like, what the
fuck? I thought you meant your boys started smoking at 3. No. I was like, that a boy.
No. Well,
yeah, no. Like, make sure you inhale.
I definitely stunted my growth with drug use when I was younger.
You think? What drugs actually stunt your growth?
I don't know.
Is that true?
I don't know.
I'm not telling you to like narc on yourself. Like, these are the drugs I've done.
So, like, just for instance, like my dad and my younger brother are over 6 feet, and neither of them smoked, neither of them drank, neither of them did any kind of drug. And then me and my older brother were fucking short, fat French guys, and it's either we got dealt a bad hand, or it's because we both started like smoking cigarettes before our balls dropped. I don't know.
Fair. It probably isn't good for you, like before puberty. Yeah. It's not good for you after puberty, but
it might be an old wives' tale, but I don't think nicotine is good for a 15-year-old.
Yeah, well, they also told us we'd go blind if we jerked off. So what can you believe?
Yeah, I didn't get that memo.
Hey, Dad, I'm over here.
My parents did not touch on that subject at all, and I don't think I'll be
hope
talking
they
to my
didn't
kids
touch on that subject. Yeah, no, that's I remember my dad like trying to talk about it in the most awkward fucking way possible, and at that point I was like 15, so I was like, Dad, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, just he would always do like hand motions, which really fucking weirded me out. When he would ask me, like, my dad and I have a very, very weird, like, I love my dad. It's not a weird relationship, but like we're more friends than like father-son dynamic. Which has been good and bad throughout the years, but like we would talk about like girlfriends and whatnot, and he would be like, you said this is on YouTube so they could see like hand motions I make. He'd be like, did you? And he'd make like a fisting motion, and I'd be like, did I fist her? No. And my dad's Jewish, and he would always use Yiddish words. So here's a Yiddish word for you. Shtup means to fuck. He'd be like, no, it's just stupper. I'm like, there's nothing good about this conversation happening right now, Dad. This needs to take a turn off right now.
How old were you, though?
I was probably 14, 15.
Oh, yikes.
No, I might have been like 17. Yeah. That was about the time I had like a serious girlfriend for the first time. But like, yeah, it was fucking, I'll never forget that shit. That's actually, I have that sticker on my oil bag. It's a Hebrew word. It's just a shtup. I saw it at Cheap Thrills, and I was like, I gotta fucking buy that.
Well, fuck yeah, dude. It sounds better that way. Shtup. I like Jewish words because they're fun to say, and they're not like, it's like, oh, did you fist her asshole? Or did you shtup her?
Did you? Yeah, well, yeah, that's funny. There's no Hebrew word for genocide anymore, but sorry, hot take. We won't go into that.
We'll cut that out.
Down. Yeah. If you want, yeah, whatever. I don't care either way. But you go to my A Better Way 2A, and it's like my my views are very, very out in the open. But yeah, there's some Yiddish words that are pretty funny. I don't know all of them, but like it's just everything sounds funnier when you put like Yiddish in English. My dad, instead of saying like I'm getting sweaty, he'd be like I'm switzing all over the place. And I'm like that's like comedic just to listen to you say that.
So were you raised like is your mom Jewish too? Were you like raised
No,
Jewish?
well my mom, yeah, no, my mom converted to marry my dad.
Okay.
And then when they got divorced, she converted back, which like conversion's weird because like if you did it for marriage, like are you really? I don't care either way. I'm not religious at all. Like I personally don't believe in that stuff, but I actually like blame my upbringing for that. Like I had really weird experiences with the religion and thought it was like super lame. So I was like, why am I going to do this?
Hmm.
They don't, you know, a lot of those old timey religions, they don't treat women well. They've got a lot of hangups,
They got
and
some baggage that come along with them.
a lot of baggage. And I was like, not
They're
for me.
all, they all came along a few centuries ago. So like,
yeah. Haven't changed a whole lot. But the nice thing about Judaism is like Christianity. There's like multiple, clubs, so you can pick the one that's right for you.
The other thing I was going to ask you too is, were you in the armed forces? How did you get into guns?
I was in the Marine Reserves for 6 years. That was my first real.
Thank you for your service. This is being recorded on
Veterans Day, brother.
Yeah.
And yesterday was the Marine Corps birthday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
249. Yeah, that was my first like real long-term exposure to guns, which is funny because my mom was vehemently anti-gun growing up. Like I had Duck Hunt for the NES and she threw away the gun. So I never knew how to play it. Like I would plug the controller in and the duck would come up and I couldn't shoot it. And the dog would come out and laugh at me. And I'm pretty sure it gave me a complex as a kid because I could never figure out how to fucking beat the game.
It's pretty amazing how that gun worked.
Yeah.
Like, how does that work?
I have no idea. Still to this day. It's magic. It's hollow inside. It just worked.
Yeah. What the fuck?
I don't know. It just worked on whatever screen you had.
Yeah, because we had like old fucking TVs.
Yeah, did they have accelerometers back then? I don't think so.
Dude,
I don't know.
That's some fucking witchcraft right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The dog knew. The dog in the game knew.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was pretty bad at it because I never had the gun. But
how do you even shoot without you have to like
don't.
move the
That's what I'm saying. No, there's no cursor. You cannot play the game without the gun, and that's why it never worked for me.
Dude,
but yeah, I was
play it.
No, and that's why. But I never knew I couldn't play it. I always thought it was just me doing something wrong. So I was like, I suck at this game again. But yeah, no, my parents my dad was like apathetic towards guns. He didn't want me to join the military though, because my uncle was in Vietnam and he got fucked up. But yeah, it worked out. They're both super supportive in the end. And then now my mom has like gun stickers on her car. Like funny enough, because she wants to support me doing what I do now. So she's still not like into guns, and I wouldn't trust my mom with a gun, to be honest, or my dad. But they're supportive of it.
You think she'll give you the Duck Hunt gun back now?
I don't think she knows where it is. I don't think. My mom drank a lot back then. She probably doesn't even remember doing it. Her intentions were good, but she was drunk half the time. So I love you, Mom. You're not listening to this, so whatever. The whole resentment's still there. That's okay.
How do you know she doesn't listen to the Lowlife podcast?
She might. That would explain a lot, actually.
We have 5%. We have 5% of our listeners are ladies.
Oh, ladies.
Yeah.
You got to say it extra creepy every time you say it, just to point them out. See if we can turn that 5 into a 4.
Well, since Dan joined, I think it went up from 3 to 5.
Oh, okay. Is he very attractive, man?
He looks like Jax Teller from Sons of Anarchy.
Ah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I definitely have never watched that show at all. Multiple times.
Never watched it?
No, that's how I courted my wife. I got her. I would confine her to my room, which was in the basement, sit down, put on Sons of Anarchy with a bottle of whiskey, and we would drink the bottle of whiskey together, and eventually I married her.
But you never watched the show?
No, we did.
Because
We watched.
You were stooping.
Because I was stooping. Oh God. Oh, we've come full circle. I was. Oh, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. Oh, she's a nice lady.
So, the other thing I wanted to ask you about your podcast is, do you guys do like a weekly thing, or you just drop it whenever you got something going on?
We do bi-weekly. Try to do bi-weekly. Yeah. It's just like with a kid. My co-host has 3 kids now.
Mm-hmm.
I have a full-time job. And we just decided on bi-weekly, so it comes out every 2 weeks. And it's great because whether it was every week or every 2 weeks or every month, I still wouldn't start editing it until 3 days prior. So it's a nice like mix between enough time to get things together and incentive to stay motivated to get them out on time.
Yeah. The other thing I like about your organization, and you guys should go check it out, is you have wicked fun merch. It's like it's not like any other like a lot of the pro gun places you go, they're like super serious about shit, but it's like you have silly stuff.
Dude, that was intentional. It's like we sell cat ears for your fucking ear pro because like somebody sees, listen, like I totally get being serious and whatnot. Like there's a difference between being serious and taking yourself too seriously. And I think you can be serious and have fun. And like we have a bumper sticker that says my wife left me after I shot my dick and balls off at Cracker Barrel. Like that's I don't know. Like there's nothing political about that, but it just fucking slaps. We sell cat ears for your ear pro. We sell like cool slings that from other companies that we carry on the site. And a lot of the stuff when possible, like what I try to do personally is only patronize companies that I know don't fucking suck like morally. Like there's a lot of shitty politics in the gun community. And I'm not talking like conservative versus liberal. I'm talking like because I think I'm one of the few people in like this side of my friend group on the guns who like doesn't well, I guess my friends, I should give them more credit, but there are a lot of people who follow my page who have lost all faith in conservatives and see them as like a monolithic group of people who just like hate X, Y, and Z people. And like I see that's completely wrong to me. I know conservatives who don't suck. And I know conservatives who are good people, like objectively. It just happens to be that the political system is so polarized now that we're forced to pick one or the other. Or you can vote third party like I do and never win. But so like
just like your duck hunting days.
Just like my duck hunting games. That explains a lot. But like like so I try to carry products from people who are like not overtly or at least not openly like shitty people. Like I've carried a couple products before that I've gotten rid of when the owner of the company from the product tweeted some like transphobic shit on their Twitter, and I saw it and I was like, we can't do this anymore, kind of thing. And ever since like that kind of situation, like I do a way better job of looking into people before that, like before carrying them and whatnot. But just like if you believe that gun rights are for everyone, then like we can be friends. The specifics after that we can go into and talk about, but I try to have the gear that we have on the site reflect that, so when you're getting something from us that you're not supporting like a shitty company. Like I remember during COVID, there was this company called Hoplite Armor that I loved because there was a shooting in Florida years ago where a dude robbed a jewelry store, got into a car chase. He stole a UPS truck or a FedEx truck, one of the two. Cops got into a chase with him. Got into a shootout in the middle of a crowded intersection, killed the hostage and the guy, and like lit up a bunch of cars in the process because they were just trigger happy fucking cops. And Hoplite Armor came out and was like, super vocal against it, and they had a bunch of cops like throwing them under the bus, leaving them negative reviews. And I was like, I'm gonna fucking support these people because they had a shirt that said Hoplite Armor 0 boots licked, and it just went fucking hard. And then I find out that they're like crazy homophobic, transphobic, anti-Semites. Like during COVID, they're posting about how like the Jews are pushing COVID and like all this crazy out there shit. Turns out the guy wants to like create his own compound on an island or like in the woods where it's just super far right Christians that like raise only white babies. And I was like, wow, I'm never buying from this company again. And I realized there are people out there who think like that in the gun community more than I'm comfortable with. So I try to do my part and not, giving them more business if I can. Because there are plenty of people, unfortunately, who will still buy from them, but I don't want to be one of those people.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts, dude. Once you get into like this cringe politics of like nuanced, like, or micro gun culture celebrity drama, it's so goofy.
People got it.
I'm saying that's it.
You want to know who doesn't want to have white babies on an island and kill all the Jews? Is our sponsors. Up first, we got Steve over at Deadbeat Customs. Steve's all about grassroots motorcycle riders. Take it upon themselves to build and customize their bike. They offer parts for all Harley-Davidson models and also offer custom parts for choppers, bobbers, trackers, and cafe racers. When it comes to building custom motorcycles, they carry the best brands available. Go visit their brick and mortar store in Tewksbury, Mass, or at deadbeatcustoms.com. Remember to enter code LOWLIFE at checkout to save some money. Next, we got Lowbrow Customs. Tyler and his team not only work hard to supply motorcycle enthusiasts with cool parts from small shops all around the world for over 20 years, but they also keep innovating and creating new parts and accessories, getting them out on the road. They are the #1 source for custom and chopper parts for your motorcycle. Go visit lowbrowcustoms.com. Next, we got Stay Strong Co. John Luke has been sent down from the heavens to bless us lowlifes with the greatest hot sauce on this mortal plane. Sweet heat baby Jesus in the white pants heralds a message from God himself. Don't put this on your butthole. It's for your mouth. The shits, and the hotter than hellfire Lowlife chopper sauce. Go to staystrongco.org today and grab yourself the holy trinity of hot sauces. Next, we got Oxford Co. Choppers. Chris, the original bad boy bombaclot from Oxford, Connecticut. Frame restoration and repair, handlebars and hardtails, hard parts for hard men. His hardtails are TIG welded and installed in-house. Made from USA-made steel, he is your man for the hardest shit to hit the East Coast since Hurricane Bob. Find him on Instagram at oxfordco.choppers. Thank you for listening to our sponsors who are totally not bigots. Me and Jordan were just talking for about another hour, and you guys will never hear it, but it was a great conversation. It was like 15 minutes, but yeah, we got deep.
Like a concept of time. So I believed you. I was like, have I been down here for that long?
It's amazing how fast the time goes by, though, when you're talking to someone. Sometimes I ask people if they want to come on the show. They're like, dude, I can't do an hour. And it's like, dude, you'll be surprised, when you just start bullshitting. But now's the time of the show. We want to do a quick buddy check. We're going to remind you to check on your buddies. Call your homies. Hug the homies.
Hug the homies.
See what they're doing this weekend. See how their job's going. Right? Let them know someone cares. Send them the little emoji that's blowing a kiss. They pretend like they don't like it, but they like it. Okay?
Every guy wants affection.
Yeah. Yeah, and they ain't getting it from their boys, all right? So let's not be so goddamn hard. Just be like, yo, bro, how's it going? That's all it takes. Give him a phone call. See what he's doing. The other thing is, too, I was going to say is, if you got, like a house project or something, invite the homies over. Be like, yo, I could use some fucking help with, building this chicken coop or, whatever. Even if they're like, nah, I don't want to do that on my Saturday. At least you asked them. With all that said, I want to thank you, Jordan, because this was wicked fun. Where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram at A Better Way 2A. Facebook, same thing. YouTube, I think I don't know how the YouTube URL works, but that's the A Better Way 2A podcast. I think that might be under A Better Way 2A also. But yeah, if you go to Instagram, find us. It's in our link tree. All of our links are there. We're on Patreon if you like the podcast and want to support what we do. But yeah, this was awesome, man. I'm glad we got a chance to do this, and yeah, I'm fucking pumped to hang out with you again.
Yeah, dude.
Maybe whenever that happens,
we'll do another. Maybe I'll come on your podcast sometime.
That would be sick.
And I'll be like, I have no idea about guns. You guys are gonna school me.
We did do a Chopper crossover with what's his name? He was in he was in Ukraine for a bit taking pictures. He does like his I'm drawing a blank now. He takes a bunch of sick pictures, rides choppers. I know that's like half the people in the chopper community. Warren Stoddard.
Oh, okay, yeah. He writes books and shit, doesn't he?
Yes, yeah. He writes like they're like picture heavy.
Yeah.
Like books about choppers, like a bunch of stuff that he does.
He's a vet too, isn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, I haven't checked that out, but I got to check that out. He has a couple books out.
Yes, yeah. We had an episode with him. He's a fucking badass.
Fuck yeah, dude.
He's definitely killed some people. Pretty sure, like in Ukraine, but like
not in the road rage incident.
I don't. Yeah, not in the road rage incident. Well, he just points guns at people like you do. He doesn't actually shoot them. It's not illegal. Brandishing is a fake law. That's a fake law. You show your guns to whoever you want.
Really?
No, don't do that. That's not legal advice.
Bad legal advice
at all. This is not legal advice.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to take that.
Giving me legal advice after I've had fucking 6 beers.
This is not legal advice. Do not show your gun to anyone. But what you should do is next time you're pulled over and the cop asks to see your license and registration, jump to get it out of your back pocket as fast as possible. So you waste no time.
Yeah. While screaming, the next time the state sees me, it's going to be in a body bag.
Yeah, totally unrelated. Yeah, totally unrelated.
This is good advice. We should do an advice call.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I saw. I'm sorry. I've never seen this, but I think it would be hilarious if somebody had a 3D printer to make a holster for their wallet that is carried at the 3 o'clock position. Here, let me just get my wallet real quick. I have a sub 1 second draw with my wallet, officer.
Dude, I've seen a phone case with like that looks like a gun. Like you pull it out and it has like the phone's coming off it, and you have like a trigger and shit.
Is it called the suicide by cop for iPhone? Jesus Christ. Who thought that was a good idea?
Yeah, just pulling out my insurance.
Yeah. It's on my phone. Jesus Christ.
Well, thanks again, Jordan, and we'll definitely stick around. We're gonna close this one out. This has been great. Until next time, low lives. Roll the dice. In trouble. Have fun. And never stop chopping.